Greetings, lovely Sagittarians. This is your reading. Look, we're kind of looking at this full moon in Aries on the 20th of October, but I'm just going through the next 3 months, so we get a general overview. If it resonates, it may well, to a point, it may well later on in the piece, you know, so I guess it is a reading that you can come back to later on, and do check out obviously your ascendant, moon, Jupiter, Venus, that kind of thing, and what was I going to say, the collective reading for this full moon as well, Saggies. So yes, I've been away for a bit. The last month I was not able to get readings out, so I'm actually in quarantine back in New Zealand, back in Aotearoa. But let's get this. So let's get this out. We're looking at October, November and December. So let's see what, and we will go through and clarify. I just pulled a few cards initially, that are face down from the Journey Map, Kim Cran's Animal cards, and Little Star and Harlequin. Anyway, so you come out, let's see. Wow, we're getting all aspects here for lovely Sagittarians. I think this full moon in Aries on the 20th is really a great time if you put some quite clear intentions in place during this just past new moon. I think there's a great ability working with these energies that there's a lot of cardinal signs involved here, a lot of action, a lot of activation at this full moon if you are doing moon magic, or whatever way you want to look at it. So you come out, Sagittarius, with the moon. We may see a reveal of sorts in the month of October. Look, we are going to clarify, because we start out in a really simple way with just one card. November sees you coming out with the sun. You know, there's nothing about the sun, nothing that could be deemed to be anything but glorious. You know, well-being, enthusiasm, inspiration, creativity, bathing in the light, you know, things. Obviously there's some sort of fruition, there's elevation. You could go so far as to say euphoria in the month of November. And then December for Sagittarius, and we'll go through and clarify. December, we have the Emperor. We come up to say hello, Emperor. What's going on? Interesting. Of course, the Emperor being, I guess, consort. Qualities of the Emperor are not gender specific, you know, but we see the Emperor traditionally as a consort to the Empress. So these quintessential, I guess, masculine qualities of which women embody as much as men at times. It's a powerful position. It's a powerful place. And it's as if, you know, in November you've been kind of infused with a really good dose of light and life energy here, Sagittarius. So let's just have a look at the moon, please, for Sagittarius in the month of, card for the month of October with this full moon in Aries, another fire sign. So, of course, the moon reveals as much as it conceals, and it does rely on that sun. It's as if work that's going on in this month, lovely Sagittarius, is a culmination of, there's a culmination point here. Excuse me. So what have we got? A few too many, but we've got 3 cards that came out. What was I saying? Culmination. You know, the moon reflecting the light of the sun. The sun, they both work together very well, don't they? It's kind of like a team effort. Now, with the moon, October, first up, we have the Ace of Wands, a gift of creativity, a gift of life force, passion, inspiration, creative, really good creative stuff. It's getting in all those areas that are to do with sexuality as well. With that, we have the Queen. Oh, hang on a moment. Sorry. Just have to pause that. Sorry about that, Sagittarius. It's a call from reception. Okay. Queen of Discs. 9 of Discs. Look, there's a breakthrough here somehow. There's a breakthrough. And the first and foremost things that I think of is you're at a incredibly independent position at this current time, and all the options that gives you. I do see that in going through towards the end of October. It's you're really aware of all the options that this independence is giving you, and it's quite endless, Sagittarius. It's quite big. It is quite big. So as we move into with these options, so there's a lot of coin on the table here. I mean, there's a lot of coin. And so as we move into November, just a couple of cards for Sagittarius, please. Just got a few too many there. As we move into November, we start to get to enjoy it. We certainly do. Lovely Saggies. Do we get to enjoy it? We get the 6 of Cups. A card often of reminiscing or people returning from the past. Sometimes people returning from the past. It's those threads, you know, that connect us, whether we are in situ with someone or not, whether they're in a different place, in the same place, different location, different country. The threads we feel, the threads of connection we feel, there's a generosity in that as well. There's a great generosity in it because these children offer with, there's an offer with really no expectation attachment to it. We see this quite clearly as well with the 2 of Cups. It's a mutuality, a mutual offering. That in itself is a choice. So it's not about, you know, sometimes when I think of the word habit, sometimes these things become a habit, that there's always other things, you know, like an offering is loaded with these other things, with other requirements or whatever. But this is quite fresh and quite new, and I can see why we have this beautiful sun in the middle, because there's a great level of equilibrium and enjoyment throughout November. It's looking good. It's looking pretty amazing. Independent, fun-loving, accepting, you know, the gifts that life has to offer, and you know, having a collection of options, yet being independent at the same time. It's really, really good. Wow. What's this? We're actually, just speaking of that, we get a few too many cards coming out, but I will pull them up. Look, this is beautiful. First up, we have the Hermit. Secondly, we have Judgment. Thirdly, we have the Fool. And the last one, the Empress. So the Consort comes back to the Queen, or the Empress here. You know, in some ways it's a returning, it feels like a return home. But you needed time, and I don't know where this is coming from, but you needed time to be looking very much internally, to be shining that Hermit's light. There's a break at some point, like a real freedom break coming into December. Of course, we have Judgment. You know, it feels like collectively we're going through a judgment time over the last sort of couple of years, doesn't it? But so a freedom, time of freedom, time of new journeys, stepping off, unencumbered, free, quite free. And yet there's the gift of these basically in your world, in November. It's really amazing. Anyway, I'm just going to focus on, so it looks like, yeah, well, earned journey of sorts, inward and outward. There's a conclusion that's been come to here, or will be, or has been, or will be. You will arrive at this conclusion. I see this as a period of flux, a period of balancing things that needed to be balanced, and yet nothing was really being decided. To me, you know, when we're looking at the Emperor, Two of Discs, Eight of Swords. This has been a long process. This has sort of been and gone. The Two of Discs, we just keep we keep a sort of balance, but while everything around us is in motion. So, right, we just, at some point we know we have to make a decision. There is a decision that will be made, but it's not at that time. And the card of, which is, so in a nutshell, Eight of Swords, self-limitation. I do believe this is a place maybe that for someone out there that, you know, you've been in for quite a while, but in fact it's the end of that. There's a real blossoming or an opening up over this October period. There's a great ability to enjoy and really just bathe yourself in the light during November. There's an understanding that, you know, you're really stepping off, as we had those other cards, the Fool, the Empress, stepping off into a whole new section of time for you, a whole new journey. You're not encumbered by necessarily what has been in the past. So this is all quite gorgeous and new development. There is great movement here. It's great movement. Let's it's not to say that, you know, and there's a lot of just in saying that there's a lot of various different aspects and things involved in this movement. Anyway, let's focus with the Brian Froud Fairy Oracle on October, this month where a lot of things to be utilising this full moon energy in the best possible way is a great goal at this time. We get Taitlin the Sylph. This is kind of electric, and it's fast. It's really fast energy. It's an interesting realization. We also have the Ra, kinetic energy. Its one and only purpose is to zizz things up, is to really get this, something cracks open, something opens up in October for you, Sagittarius. Let's look into, it really does. Let's look at November, this glorious bathing in the light. Bathing in the light. And again, we get the journeyman in the Fairy Oracle, which is the Fool card, with he himself all lit up, ready to go. This earthly, or should I say like forest man, all lit up, really intent, focused, a bit sexy, you know. It's a very Virgoian card, I think. He himself knows what she wants, knows the avenues to seek that, to get those things. With the journeyman, a leap of faith. Let all this light and wonderful, joyous sun really spur you on along your journey, dear Sagittarius here. You know your trajectory. Excuse the light, it's sort of a bit funny. You know your trajectory. And looking at where the Emperor is, let's just... So you've overcome a fair amount here over the last year or two in these strange times, and you know what's of value to you. You know what you can get rid of, what lightens your load. But at the same time, this realization in a really material, physical way, this realization that you have many options. You've got many, many options here. Financial independence, a real drive to express what's here, to express your self in the fullest way. I digress. So we have Lady of the Harvest. You know, it's like, you know what it means to keep a sort of internal balance here, Sagittarius. You know what that means. Lady of the Harvest knows when it's time to get rid of something here, when it's time to cut that tree back, when it's time to, you know, harvest. This is a beautiful card. Interesting. So, no, you know, it's like you realize, you know, you're really empowered with options here. in October, you get to bathe in this great light, to be elevated by the light, and mutuality is what you're shining that light out. You're getting it back. You're getting it back. It's spurring you on. The Emperor sits in an amazingly strong position here. Now, well, this is the second time this particular animal card has come out. I'm just turning this collection of cards over. And so, first and foremost, we have detached logic. You can't really see. And objectivity are your friends. Excuse me, at this time. Kim Cran's animal spirit cards, I think they're called that. I just go off my own bat. We have beautiful buffalo. Isn't that gorgeous? There's a blast of lightning in the sky. There's a change that be coming. I say a change is coming. It also reminds me of capillaries, you know. It really does. The pumping of that life force, the pumping of blood, oxygen, all of that. Oxygenation. We're sort of flying at great heights here. Of course, there's a lot of mythology. There's a lot of, you know, the buffalo is a wonderful, incredible animal. And I don't know too much about myth, not myth, but, you know, the reverence of this animal with Indigenous North American people, but a beautiful image. And we have the messenger, this gorgeous winged messenger that reminds us of our childhood dreams, actually, and the lightness of that, of when, you know, we lived, ideally we lived each day as it came, and glorified in the small, simple activities and enjoying the moments of those days. The messenger comes with a message about that, to not forget those dreams, to not forget those dreams about who and how we wanted to be, intrinsically, what we really were. And I think we can all think of those times of great abandon as children, you know, just dancing or whatever it was, it can just be a small moment in entire childhood that you remember, and that may well be just, you know, as well as remembering your childhood dreams. So this is pretty beautiful, Sagittarius. So if that resonated with you, it's certainly something that can come back to at a later date. And I will be coming in with the Aries full moon collective readings up, but I will be coming in on a more regular basis over the next few months again. So thanks for joining me, Saggies. I hope this finds you well, and we'll see you next time. Take good care and have a good week. Ka kite.